Should animals be used for biomedical research? By me. What is animal research? Animal research is a procedure carried out on animals for the study of biology and research on diseases. Why do we need to learn about animal research? It is important because we need to understand the consequences behind science and to figure out whether it is actually an effective method or not. We also need to understand whether it is moral to violate animal rights and their pain and suffering. Which animals are used and why? The most common animals used are mice, monkeys, rabbits, and hamsters. This is because they share high percentages of DNA with us. Here are some animals that share large percentages of DNA with us. Mice share 70%, chimpanzees share 96%, dogs share 82%, and cats share 90%. Animals are also susceptible to similar diseases as humans. This includes cancer, rabies, and Lyme disease. This has allowed us to find innovations for new vaccines and medications throughout the years. I believe animals should not be used for biomedical research. I base this through looking through the ethical lens and focusing on three main concerns. First, the benefits of animal testing. Second, the effectiveness versus the mistreatment of the animals. And lastly, the environmental impacts that animal testing has. What are the benefits of animal testing? Animal testing has allowed us to find innovations for many vaccines and medications, including cancer and HIV. It has allowed us to find new cosmetics and household cleaning items. And animals also have a shorter lifespan than humans. Lab mice live around 26 to 30 months, whereas humans live from 80 to up to 100 years old. This helps scientists understand the long-term effects of drugs. And last but not least, arguably one of the main ethical concerns that help is that no humans are involved. However, there's only a 10% success rate in transferring from animals to humans. Sharing DNA does not mean that it's an effective method. We need to look at other things to be able to compare the two. Why is this? Humans and animals vary in reactions. For example, an immunomodulatory drug that was successfully tested on test subjects, such as mice and rabbits, worked really well. However, when it was tested on humans, it resulted in a systematic organ failure. Therefore, we wonder whether it is deemed moral to inflict pain and suffering, and even death on animals, and possibly even humans, for something with such a low success rate. It has also gone vice versa, where something ineffective to animals has proven to be successful in humans. Neurologist Asha Akhtar found that a drug called tacrolimus was used to lower risk in organ transplant was intended to not be used due to the fact that it showed negative results on animals. Therefore, we wonder whether it's allowed to risk the possibility of losing a promising treatment just because it was shown to not work on animals. I believe that it is not worth it. Over 100,000 of animals die each year, and only 11% experience subthreshold pain, as you can see in the graph. This means that the rest of animals must experience at least some severity of pain for something that might not even work. Lastly, the effects on the environment. The millions of animals killed have been found with traces or even high amounts of toxins, chemicals, infections, and more. This can vary from rats being found with 300 ppm of lead to being as dangerous as radioactive material. The bodies are disposed of in two ways. First, decomposition. Carcasses with toxins are left out and can seep into the soil and severely harm our environment. The second method is incineration. This is the preferred method for animals with radioactive material outside of them so that they don't contaminate the soil or water. If this happens, it can increase the risk of cancer and health issues such as acute radiation syndrome. However, although it does stop all of this, it can lead to air pollution. The gases release heavy metals such as iron, copper, and zinc, and can also release CO2 emissions. This harms our environment because it contributes to greenhouse gases and also harms human health, which can cause muscular weakness and lung problems. My solution is organ on the chip. Organ on the chip is a human physiology with real human tissue and an in vitro model. The real human tissue means that no animals are necessary. This means there wouldn't be the 10% success rate in transferring from animals to humans. Rather, it would just be from humans to humans. In addition, it would also be ethical because we wouldn't need to worry about the mistreatment of animals since none are involved. In addition, there would be no intoxicated carcasses to have to decompose or incinerate. Therefore, it wouldn't contribute to greenhouse gas emission or soil contaminations. Organ on the chip is also made of a biofriendly plastic, also known as bioplastic. It's renewable energy and can decompose into the ecosystem naturally. Some recent advantages of organ on a chip have been that it is used in the Weiss Institute in Harvard to find treatments for COVID-19.
Thank you. All right, a couple of questions. How valid and reliable are the sources you used? How do you know? And which sources didn't work?
The sources I used, such as Harvard EDU and PETA.org, were very valid sources. I know this because I found them on Google Scholar, which is a better way of finding reliable information. In addition, many of the sources often ended in .edu, which are known to be reliable because they represent universities and schools. .gov was also a reliable source that I used because all branches of the United States federal government use this domain. Some sources that didn't work were ones that included a lot of opinion-based information rather than facts.
Okay, thank you. If you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
If I could conduct more, I would conduct more research on my solution, organ on a chip. This is because I'm not highly confident in my answer. I did some research and I found that there are some difficulties in using organ on a chip, such as the fact is when making them, you must avoid the introduction of air bubbles, and that infection risk and contamination rates are quite high. There also haven't been significant advancements made yet that animal research has not been able to provide.
Thank you.